as we enter the midway point of the EFL Championship season, I thought I'd revisit my early door predictions I made for this division at the start of the campaign. Who did I see going to the Premier League? Who did I see going down to League One? We'll take a little look next. That's right, folks, back once again with another prediction video. Today we're looking back, way back at the start of the campaign, at my early door 2021-2022 Championship predictions. Who did I see to get promoted from the division to the Premier League? And of course, who did I see going down? We'll reveal all of that and more in just a second. A big shout out to my VRBLPs. And if you're new to the channel, where you been? Your one-stop shop for Championship football, of course, Blackburn Rovers, world football, everything under the bloody sun. We got it right here under one rooski. So of course, we're going to revisit my predictions I made way back in July 2021. So here it is. This is the actual video, so make sure you check it out if you wanted to as well. 3,200 viewers have so far done it. We're going to play it in double speed, double speed, double speed, double speed, double speed. So we're going to let him play right here, right now. We're going to make it big. That's what she said. And jump in the deep end. So here we go. So what we do here is we do the predictions of the middle of the pack, and there's one for you right now. It is Millwall. So let's get the actual league table up for your leisure. There it is. So as I said there, we start in the middle of the pack, and I think it was Millwall into 13th spot. So they're actually in 12th right now. So that's holding very, very true for itself at the moment. So I'm started off on the right foot, a very, very good foot, and I'm looking at it right now, and I'm pretty confident that my picks look pretty dang. In fact, I'm looking at the wrong way round. I thought that was my actual prediction, so I'm wrong. But anyway, Millwall into 13th in the real. They are in 12th. So yeah, that's holding very, very good. Very, very good for us. Into 40 via Barnsley. Now, right here, right now, Barnsley are going down. Of course, they lost Valérien Ismail. Of course, they brought in some other guy. That other guy didn't stick around. They brought in another guy, and I just think it's too much for them. They're not going to finish 14th. If anything, they could probably hope for is 20th, but I think they're toast. I think they're going down, unfortunately. I just don't. The rumour has it that they could lose some of their key players to West Brom. We're going to try and strengthen their own squads this season. And of course, Valérien Ismail will know what he's working with those guys. So, unfortunately, I think Barnsley's tenure in the Championship is going to be over. But again, we're going to re-predict the whole season, or the rest of the season, in another video. So make sure you come back for that. That'll be on later on today. It's a 50 by Birmingham. They currently find themselves in 17th, so it's pretty much on the money. I think they will have around about that sort of season. I don't think they're going to go down. I think there are just there is only four teams I think could go down. We know one of them. It's probably going to be Derby, Barnsley, the other, and then there's two others I think who realistically could go down, and Birmingham are not one of them. They've got too much in there. They've got too much experience. Bowyer might not be the guy, but for the time being, he will just it'll be fine. It's a 60 by Stoke. Stoke are doing all right into 16 in 6th right now, so that's a little bit of a shit one by me. Do I think Stoke could be in the playoffs at the end of the season? No, I don't think so still. And again, we'll re-predict that in another video. But yeah, I was wrong here. They are more well organised. They, of course, are doing the basics right. And, of course, grinding out some results. And, of course, those results are keeping them in the hunt for playoffs at the moment. But, of course, not right here, right now, in my eyes. Into 70th by Hull. They're in 19th in the real world. Again, I think that's pretty much close to the money. I think I call that very, very good. And, again, the season is only halfway old. So they could have a tremendous back end of it, and they might even rise up to 12th. But I still think 17th is pretty good at a prediction at this stage. So you're not too shabby in my eyes. In 18th by Preston North End, they actually find themselves in 15th. But again, that's not too bad. I do think they will tail off. They've just brought in. They replaced McAvoy for the guy from Plymouth Low. I think that's a good master stroke. Again, he's not really managed at this level, I don't think. Anyway, at the Championship, I still think it's a bold shout. And yeah, maybe 18th is a little bit harsh. I think they could probably grind themselves up to the top half of the table, maybe 12th if things go their way, because a lot of the teams above them are going to start to fall down. I can see some of them anyway. Into 19th, it is Bristol City. They currently find themselves in 18th. Again, bold, good, sexy little shout by myself there. Not saying like I'm a big headed or some other motherfucker, but I'm pretty happy with that. Of course, Pearson was linked with Rovers when we went for a rough stage last season, and I'm glad we didn't take him at this moment. Again, he can either get it right or he's shite. And right now, I think he's still shite for Bristol City. It's a 25 Blackpool. They kind of find themselves in 13th, but they're had a good season so far back, beating some teams they would expect they wouldn't, or getting good results anyway against them. So maybe 20th is a little harsh. I do have them surviving, so they should be comfortable in that notion that they probably will be around about 15th or 16th, I think, at the end of the campaign. But 20th might be a bit of a kick in the bollocks by me, so I do apologise for that. Peterborough 21st, they're 22nd right now, so close to the money. I'm pretty. It's a pretty solid pick on my eyes there. So we'll put that as a W, a big fat W for me. I think they're gonna struggle and go down eventually. Is it 3 teams that go down? I think they will go down. 22nd Coventry, they of course had a great season. They've now started to hit a real rough patch. They're in 8th, but I do think they will slowly fall down and maybe end up around about 15th. But 22nd was my shout, so I definitely got that wrong. I definitely look a right hit by doing that. Into 23rd, Huddersfield. Oh yes, that's definitely a big old shit stirrer there. Not good in my eyes. 10th is where they are right now. They look good as well. I think they're an awkward team. They're kind of organised. They can beat the best of you. They can also get beat. They're kind of like the Accrington Stanley of the Championship. You just don't know what you're going to get with Huddersfield, and they're proving to be a better team than they are a worse team. I didn't believe in them at the start of the campaign. I thought they'd have a real rough end to last season. Of course, Derby County was on everyone's hit list, and of course they should go down. They've been dealt with another deduction, so to see them survive would be a miracle, to say the least. But you know what? For the back end of that I'd say it's about a B minus, C plus for my predictions. Into 12th, I had Cardiff. Of course, got rid of Mick McCarthy. They went for a real bad run. It wasn't good enough for them. They got rid of him, and they brought in Morrison, I think, on a permanent basis. So at least to the end of the season anyway. And right now, it's not really worked out. They could get sucked into a relegation battle as well. So, 3 teams go down. 3 teams go down. Reading got points deducted. They're down now to 21st. I still think they'll be all right. I still think they'll be around about 15th or 16th. They've got a lot of young talent in there. Lucas Chow, where's he gone? Is he going to come back? Did he have an injury? I don't know. But if he does come back and score some goals, of course they'll climb the table as well. In the 10th, I have Blackburn Rovers. Of course, we're not going to gloat about this at all because we could still end up being 10th. A lot of what I will say is a lot of Rovers fans said a season of shit this season. They anticipated a relegation battle, all this kind of nonsense and stuff. I didn't see that. I thought we had enough talent in this team to compete for a top end of the campaign. I think I might even mention the word playoff in there. I don't know, but 10th, it still looks a bit of a. I think it's a positive prediction. Of course, we're doing much better than that right now, and of course, I'd love to be eating my words at the end of the season if we were to finish the dizzy heights of 3rd, or even dare I say it higher than that. Then I will eat my humble pie gladly with a spoon. I'll even shove it down with the shovel. I'll shove it in my face. I will. But 10th was my pick for Rovers, and they're doing all right in 3rd. And again, we could end up being in 10th. So we'll see. It's a 9th spot then. What have we got into 9th? In the real world, it is Middlesbrough. Again, they're going to be on the climb, I think. But Luton Town, it's enough. I thought they made some really good signings at the start of the season. This just proved to be a bit of a long all season for them. They're starting to grind. They're starting to kind of do a Coventry as well right now. Kind of sink in at the moment. Probably at the wrong time. The bubble has burst a little bit for Luton Town. So I still think they'll be fine. I think they'll be okay. And Nathan Jones is, of course, a tactical master, and he'll do enough to keep them in the division. I had Middlesbrough in 8th. That was, of course, under Warnock. Of course, now Chris Wilder's here. We might have to revisit that. And, of course, I'm looking at maybe the likes of Forest, and maybe the likes of Middlesbrough to enter that top 6 race. And it's an interesting top 6 race. So we'll elaborate on that, of course, at the end of this. So it's a 7th. I had when the real one is Forest. They are currently in 7th. Chris Cooper's boys. This was again with Matey Boy, Chris Hughton's boys. That's what I made. I went. That prediction was with Chris Hughton in mind. Stevie Cooper's now come in because Hughton wasn't really cut the mustard, and they look a different beast now. So I do think they also, like Middlesbrough, could maybe replace the likes of Stoke in that top 4, top 5 or whatever it is there. So yeah, keep your eyes on Forest, keep your eyes on Middlesbrough. I think they're going to be up in the contention there. Bournemouth in 6th, of course they're 2nd right now. Again, they've hit a rough patch this season. They did look good under Scotty Parker. They were grinding out results and, of course, and getting things done. But now they've hit a bit of a purple patch, and they could end up themselves in the playoffs come at the end of Boxing Day, depending on whenever this video goes on. They might already be in the playoffs, of course, or things might have changed anyway. But yeah, it's a 5th side Fulham. Of course, number 1 is Fulham at the moment. So yeah. They look good though. They do look clinical. They've got as long as they keep Mitrovic, they got goals, and they've got they did turn us over as well, 7-0. But they've also hit a bit of a rough patch, and again the gap that the top 2 had at the start of the season or into October, November has been gobbled up a little bit. So they've hit some real rough skids, and they could end up in a bit of a scrap at the end of this. It's a 4th. I had Swansea. That looks absolutely stupid right now, but again this was with, I think Stevie Cooper was still there at Swansea when I made these predictions. So I thought, and again when you look at it now, when they've lost a lot of talent, I still think there's a decent side in that Swansea's team, but they currently find themselves, where are they, 16th. They're kind of probably be around about 12th or something at the end of the season, so that one is definitely shit. I can probably scratch that off big time. Into the top 3, we're looking at West Brom, Sheffield United, and somebody else. Who else am I missing here? QPR, that's right. QPR are doing all right. I think they're going to be my 3rd pick here, aren't they? Yeah, I think QPR will be 3rd, and currently they find themselves in 5th. I think that's right. Yep, I did make that bold prediction that they would be up there, and then of course they're holding true to that. Of course they've got goals in it. They've got a lot of experience in that team. They've got Barbe at the back. They've got Johansson from Fulham. He came in. He's done a wondrous job as well. They've got goals in Charlie Austin and Andre Gray, and that's just scratching the surface. Those are the composed veterans here for QPR. They're spending a lot of money on it though. Of course they don't come cheap, these guys. And of course we were looking at Johansson to come in to strengthen our midfield, but of course he said no. And of course, we've decided to go elsewhere with our youngsters instead. So, you know what? Fair dues to QPR. It's working at the moment. But of course, if it doesn't work out, then you're going to probably bite the bullet a little bit with the financial gamble that is on bringing some of those guys in on permanent deals. So into the top 2 we go. Of course, it's probably going to be West Brom, I think, 2nd. No, Sheffield United. Went with Sheffield United, of course. That was, who was in charge at the start of the season? It was, who was it? Was it Slavko Jokovic? It was Slavko Jokovic, who does usually get promotions, but yeah, for whatever reason, it wasn't working. But now Sheffield United have clicked in the gear under Paul Heckingbottom, of course, who I turned my nose at when, of course, he signed. But they're on a nice run of form. They currently find themselves in 11th, but of course, within a couple of games, they could be in that top 6, top 7. Of course, competing for the playoffs, if not more than that. So you know what? That second space prediction does look a little bit daft now, but of course I think it could still ring in the jackpot at the end of the campaign. So those are 2nd, and of course West Brom are going to be in my number 1 spot. I thought Valérien Ismaël would take his fortune with him from Barnsley and bring it into West Brom. It has worked to a point. However, they've not been the most entertaining to watch. They're not scoring that many goals, but they're grinding out results, and I think that's what's going to. It could bite them in the arse at the end of the season. They're currently finding themselves in 4th. Of course, they were in that top 2 for a little bit, but of course, slowly but surely, results have gone a little bit south. So it's still okay for them. There's still no pressure for Valérien Ismaël, but if they tumble into 7th, you know what? The West Brom hierarchy won't be happy with it. But anyway, that's my picks. Of course, we're going to revisit those picks or redo it and re-predict the rest of the season, of course, later on today. So make sure to check that badge out. But until then, guys, that is it. Smash your thumbs up. Smash your subscribe. Check the links down below on Twitter, Twitch, Facebook, and Patreon as well. What do you think about predictions? Would you give myself an A+ for that one? I think I did all right so far. But again, we're going to have a re-stab at it and see where we think. Where do I think Rovers will finish? Where do I think bloody QPR will finish? Where do I think bloody Bournemouth will finish? I'll answer all those, of course, in that video later on today. But until then, dudes, we're done.